municipal services do you consider ripe for competition, privatization, or outsourcing? And how about the library as a candidate to find savings?
The library has actually been underfunded by $6 million over the years. So that's another area where, as far as what they've done in the past, I mean, they underfunded our library in total by $6 million. And so the library is looking to, they're looking to do some renovations and I think they need to go out and do an aggressive capital campaign, which they're in the process of really gearing up and doing. So I'm not sure what I think that the library is something that has to be supported by the city. I don't really agree with just completely privatizing it.
Library was just mentioned as a candidate. I mean, is there any areas in the city government that you think would be worth considering for outsourcing or basically privatization?
There are some areas that I'm considering, but until I've made, like I said, until I want to complete the analysis and until I've made a decision, I'm not gonna say what areas those might be.
Okay. Our new governor has advocated school vouchers as a way to improve education at a lower cost to taxpayers, particularly in urban districts. Do you favor setting up a pilot voucher program in Hoboken?
That's something I would have to talk to the school board about.
Okay. Councilman Bala has advocated shifting the municipal elections from May to November to coincide with general elections. How does the easy access for voters to absentee balloting fit into your thinking on that matter, if any?
I think it's something that we should strongly consider. But there's concern because it would be a very long, list of people that you're voting for at the same time. There's concern it could be confusing for seniors. But I think that the more participation that we have in our elections, the better, and I think it could help to increase voter participation. So I think it's something that we should consider.
Where do you stand on the issue of dual or multiple office holding? Is it appropriate to hold 2 elected offices at once, i.e. councilman and assemblyman? Do you favor a ban on dual office holding with no grandfathering? I know that's a state issue more, but
yeah, I think it's more of a state issue.
Okay. But it does. I mean, it could become applicable on the city side in some respects too. Right.
Well, it's kind of an. I mean, having been attacked for dual office holding.
Yeah, but you weren't. This says specifically elected. Okay. So we're not going there.
Maybe I still have a little bit of anger from that one, just because in my case, that was
inherited.
State law. It was inherited, and it was state law that. Because I was council president and I became acting mayor, you couldn't do one without the other, and I felt like I was.
The question wasn't really directed towards you,
I know, but I think that it's something that we should not have.
Well, let me ask you this as a follow-up to that. Generally, do you have some views on issues where a conflict of interest in government would arise? I mean, is there areas that you have thought about or thinking about visiting in that regard?
There's some areas. I mean, I know that there's apparently some concern about, for example, the new director that we're hiring, and that she's a council person in her town. And so with that, I mean, we're going to make sure that all of apparently, I've talked to her about it. In her town, it's the Democratic Party that kind of takes in the campaign donations and then helps all of the candidates. So we're going to make sure that they have a list of all of our vendors, and she's agreed to sign something so that there's absolutely no issue of her ever taking campaign contributions in her town from any vendors.
Okay. In the Hudson Reporter, you were quoted as saying, "Every day I'm uncovering something new." Can you share any of that with us that might be of interest to the readers?
Well, like I said, the
termites.
The termites is one. I mean, and the Sinatra Field. Yeah,
How
there are
about
some
good
things.
news?
There are things. There's some
Any
things
good
that are
news?
going to. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the. Unfortunately, that is. Yeah, I'm uncovering things that are not so beneficial to the taxpayer.
Okay. Bunch of updates on our.
But I will. All right. Here's a good
Okay.
one. I mean, it's like there, and actually, it was constituents that pointed this out to me. This is on dog issue, but it's, everything that happened with the pit bull incident. I'll bring this up. The facility that we use in Newark, there's been a lot of concern from constituents, and so we are, we are working very hard, and we're pretty close to working with Liberty Humane. So
to come to an agreement.
To come to an agreement and have everything, be them to be our animal control facilities. So we're pretty excited about that. So it's just one example of.
And where are they based? They're in Jersey City?
Jersey City.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've got it's taking longer than expected because they've got to expand their facility in order to accommodate us.
Okay.
But I think that's going to be a great partnership.
Bunch of updates on the physical surroundings and the neighborhood developments. And somebody said to me, if you ever get a chance, would you be able to ask about taking a walk up and down Hoboken, anything on like New York Transit redevelopment or the southern waterfront?
You mean like the New Jersey Transit project?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are in the process of, we're going to kind of restart that process. Amanda and I believe if we do it in a way where the city is part of putting out the bid and choosing the planner that we believe will be the best planner, and that we have kind of management control, not control, but we're managing the planner, that we can work with the community to come up with a plan, and with New Jersey Transit, the stakeholder, to come up with a plan that works for everyone. The way it was done before, it was like FX Foul was being, there was no management of FX Foul, and so they were just coming in with their plans, and there was, as we all know, they weren't really listening to what the community's concerns were.
Okay.
So I think I think it's important that we, and I'm, we're going to be hiring another planner on a part-time basis, but we're gearing up to restart that process. I think it's very important that we have as a community, have a plan that we propose for the New Jersey Transit site, because I recognize that there may be, kind of pressure from the state level coming back saying, we're going to just let New Jersey Transit build whatever they can build. And our position is so much stronger if we say, here's the plan. We're not just saying no, no, no. We're saying this is the plan that we could support, that we've built consensus around, and this is the plan that we want for our community. Okay. So both from a legal standpoint as well.
I almost forgot to ask, since the press release you issued with the council president yesterday during the storm, have you had any chance to speak with Judy?
We had an email exchange, but I haven't. She's out today just because of the snow. She wasn't able to be here, so.
Okay. You want to shed any light on that?
I
okay. Don't. How about the Pier C completion date?
I will. I'll just say that Judy has worked. She's been in a very difficult situation. She's been with 3 different mayors, and so she needed to start the process of the union negotiations and work through that process. And I do believe that she's trying to put together an agreement that will be in the best interest of the people of Hoboken. That she's coming from that place.
Okay, and the Pier C, do we have a completion date on that yet?
There's some legal issues, and I'm hopeful it'll be done sometime in the next several months.
Are the Burns residents there? Have they actually demanded domain rights?
That is a frustration. But I will say to my credit, I was not willing to do some things that other people were considering in the past, of flying in things at a very high expense to the taxpayers to get it done before an election. I was absolutely not willing to do that. But at this point, I want it done, for for the summer. So we're ready to go and enjoy that park in the summer.